Today is day 17 of my 18-day water fast journey. It's the morning time. Had a good night's sleep last night. Woke up a couple times in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and that's just what's going to happen. That's been going on ever since I started the fast, just because I'm drinking so much water, and then when I do get up in the middle of the night, I drink more water. So, it's pretty common to get up a few times in the night to go to the bathroom just because you're cleansing yourself and getting rid of all that stuff during the night. But I feel pretty good this morning. My energy levels probably 7 out of 10. I've got an extremely busy day today. So I calculated out, and all in all, I will probably walk close to 3 miles by around 2 p.m. this afternoon. So we'll see how my body takes it on day 17. So tomorrow is the last day. I'm pretty excited about that, but I'm trying not to think about food. Sometimes when people fast, a couple days before the end of the fast, they just constantly start thinking about, I'm going to be eating soon. And that's not really the mindset that you want to be in. You want to be in the mindset that, let me focus on the now. So I've been getting some questions too about diabetes. Dr. Jason Fung has a book on fasting, which I would recommend, especially for anybody with diabetes, because that's kind of what his specialty is. I pulled up some of the research that I had, and some of the research dates back a while. This is from George Cahill. He was one of the leading researchers on prolonged fasting too, and he only died in 2012. He was born in 1927, but he served as Merck's Scientific Advisory Board chairman and in the National Diabetes Association, and started teaching at Harvard Medical School in 1970. And in one study, Cahill and his colleagues researched metabolic changes in 6 normal subjects and 2 subjects suffering from type 2 diabetes, who all water fasted for 8 days. So they were doing studies at Harvard in the 1970s on water fasting. But none of this stuff ever got out there because it was so successful. So they water fasted for 8 days. At the end of the fast, the blood glucose levels of the normal subjects had decreased from 77 milligrams per 100 milliliters to 63 milligrams per 100 milliliters. The type 2 diabetes patients experienced an even more significant drop. Serum glucose levels fell from 98 milligrams per 100 mils to 59 milligrams per 100 mils. So basically, they came back to normal. Another case was on a person named Sonny, who was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in the mid-1990s. He was put on the most commonly prescribed drug, metformin. Over time, Sonny started to require more and more medication to control his diabetes. In 2011, he was prescribed insulin. Even with multiple pharmaceutical drugs, Sonny never reached healthy glucose levels. Dr. Fung put Sonny on a diet that was low in refined carbohydrates and high in natural fats. He was also required to fast for 36 to 42 hours 3 times a week. That's it. 36 to 42 hours 3 times a week. The results were immediate and incredible. Sonny's blood glucose readings improved rapidly, and in 2 weeks, 2 weeks, folks, he was off his insulin. In 6 weeks, Sonny no longer required any diabetic medication. Now, if you have diabetes, I do not recommend, 24-hour fasting or something maybe, but I would highly recommend, if you're going to start any type of water fasting, that you get medically supervised when you're doing it, or contact the True North Health Center, or contact Dr. Fung's office or something like that, who has experience and can guide you through that. Because I don't want to recommend anybody with diabetes going into by themselves any type of water only fasting. That's my update for this morning. Have a great day. I've had a very active day. This is my afternoon update. Walked a lot. I was outside all day, and believe it or not, on day 17, I feel probably almost back to normal. I mean, I know it's kind of weird to say that, but I don't know, my energy levels have been high. You know, maybe day 14, 15, and 16 were a little bit low, but today I'm feeling really good. My energy levels are high, drinking a lot of water. Can't complain. It's gonna be pretty easy, you know, getting through till tomorrow night when I break my fast. No other side effects, no other symptoms, no low energy, so everything is going great. I did want to talk about one thing that my sister actually brought up, and it is kind of a strange thing. I talk about when you don't have food in your life, you know, think about how much time in your day is spent. I started thinking back, and with intermittent fasting, I don't eat breakfast, but think about how much time the regular family spends on food. You have to go shopping, you have to cook breakfast, then you have lunch, then you have dinner. All of that, if you add it up, I know sometimes we go out for an executive lunch, it takes 2 hours. I mean, that's 2 hours out of your day right there. You might have 2 hours, an hour out of your for breakfast. If you add up the time of your life that is spent cooking, preparing, shopping, eating food, it's a massive amount of time. I almost didn't know what to do with myself there for a while. I mean, and I only eat between noon and 6 every single day. Think about how much extra time. We all walk around all the time going, well, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to do that. Well, guess what? If you skip a meal, or you fast one day a week or something, or you don't go to that lunch, then you're going to have a lot more time to spend with yourself doing some of those things that you maybe have been putting off because you didn't have time to do them. So it is, you don't realize, the amount of time that goes into cooking and food preparation and shopping, but it is a lot. It is a lot of time, especially if you take food away from you, then you realize how much time you really have. Another question is fertility. My wife and I have tried to have a baby for 3 years with no luck. How long should we fast? I would recommend, you can jump right into fasting, water fasting if you want. There's no general rule about it, but I always recommend, probably cleansing the body, doing a pre-fast cleanse, intestinal cleanse with oxy powder, maybe one liver and gallbladder cleanse. If you have the time, maybe a harmful organism cleanse, but you don't have to. I mean, if you're really trying to have a baby in fertility, I'd probably start with a 3-day fast, then maybe take 4 or 5 days off, and then maybe go into a 6-day water fast, and then maybe take a few days off, and then maybe do another 6-day water fast or a 9-day water fast. And then that alone, just if you don't want to do long-term fasting like what I'm doing with an 18-day, actually, I mean, most of the studies that I've been reading are 30-something day fasts. I mean, that's, what I'm doing is really only half of what some people do, because the body really continues to get deep and deeper and deeper and deeper into the cleansing process the longer you go. But for fertility, I would start off like that and just do in segments. You can always do fasting in segments too. A 3-day water fast, you're not really going to get into autophagy. You will produce immune stem cells. That was proven by USC, study at USC. So you can regenerate the immune system in 72 hours on a 72-hour water fast. As far as fertility goes, regenerating the hormone systems and the organs and all that other stuff, that you might have to go a little bit longer or take little breaks in between, then do another fasting session, take a little break in between, then do a longer fasting session. But anytime you fast, you're going to be doing really good for your body. And then, of course, eating as healthy as you possibly can as well. Does Dr. Group eat paleo? No, I do not. I have not eaten meat in probably 14 years or so. Meat is not good for the body. It stops up the digestive process. It takes 72 hours to digest a 8-ounce ribeye. Okay? I mean, that's just, talking about the energy it takes for digestion. So no, my diet is basically, I'd say 80 to 90% raw foods. Nuts, raw sprouted nuts, seeds, vegetables. I do eat some cooked food as well, so it's not all raw. And I don't say I'm a vegan necessarily because I will have some raw organic goat cheese or raw organic sheep cheese every now and then. Every now and then. Not a lot, but every now and then I will have some raw cheese. So that's my update for this afternoon. I'll check back with you guys this evening. It's my evening update. So tomorrow evening at around 6 p.m., I will be done and completed with my 18-day fast, and I will be filming how I break my fast and also explaining the best way to break a long-term fast. All in all, I had a really good day. I am feeling a little bit more fatigued now towards the end of the day, I have to say. My body is just wants to rest. I did put it through a lot today, drank a lot of water today, no headache, no cravings. Even though I was around food, actually helped cook a meal today, organic meal. So didn't really have any cravings or get hungry at all. So my energy levels were a lot higher actually than the last couple days. So that's good, and I'm excited about tomorrow. It's been a long journey. It's been a great journey though. I'm so happy that I took on this challenge, but really for myself, not only for everybody, just to show, since I've been working and writing this book on fasting for the last year and a half, I've gone through a transformation too, because I was never taught that fasting could be beneficial for you. I mean, I was brainwashed just like all the other doctors out there. And it all comes down to simplicity, really. I mean, when you think about it, you can heal the body and reactivate the body's self-healing mechanism on water. As a matter of fact, water is the most rapid way to regenerate the system. All these doctors that are prescribing all these nutritional supplements, and you come in because even in natural schools, you're still taught to prescribe. So if someone comes in with a headache, you might give them white willow bark. Or if someone comes in with bowel problems, you might give them probiotics. But there's one key component that's being lost in all of this knowledge and all of this education. And that's the component of cleansing. You can't give stuff on top of dirty stuff. I mean, it's like adding new oil to your car when your oil is already gunky and dirty anyway. You have to take 2 steps back before you take 2 steps forward, and you have to clean your body out. Clean your environment. You have to understand what the root cause of your symptoms are. The root cause. The root cause are all of the chemicals and toxins in the food and the air and the water. When you understand that, you'll realize that you've accumulated all those for years and years and years and years and years, and you need to detoxify and get them out of your body. That's why it's so important, even if you're going to a naturopathic doctor, to make sure that you cleanse your system first. And then take the necessary nutrients or supplements or whatever you need. So I have a couple more questions. One of them is, have you had any nausea since you started fasting? Nausea is a very, very common symptom of fasting, and so is vomiting. But that usually happens in the first week, and people that are extremely toxic, and it's actually a good thing. You want to be able to purge yourself of all these toxins. And if you're not having efficient bowel movements, your body's going to dump and you might actually vomit them up. So that's actually a good thing. I have not. I've only had maybe, I'd say the whole time, maybe 2 or 3 symptoms of nausea. And I think it was more or less because I just drank too much water. But it is very common. This comes from a lady. Would I need to worry about being on a water fast when that time of the month rolled around? No, you don't. I mean, water fasting is you're reactivating your body's own self-healing mechanism, and the body is so intelligent, it's going to just handle everything for you. Because after a few days, it knows what you're doing, and it knows the digestive system stops, so then it's going to take over. It's going to manufacture proteins. It's going to, remember, all the cells in our body are composed of fatty acids, amino acids. All of them are different, obviously, depending on what cell it is. You're going to have minerals in there. So your body, when it starts eating and chewing up all that dead, diseased cellular tissue, recycles all the minerals and the nutrients, and it goes right back into your system. As your liver is detoxifying it, you're going to be expelling a lot of that stuff through your urine. That's why it's so important to keep drinking water, and that way you can expel all that stuff in a timely manner. When you break down from your fast, how will you go about adding exercise back in? Well, I'm hoping I can start exercising as soon as possible. There's studies that show that, as a matter of fact, when you break your fast, you start producing more growth hormone and testosterone and balancing out your hormones. It's almost like that regenerative process, like that stem cell process. And hopefully as soon as you can get back into the gym, as soon as your energy levels come back, that's the goal for me, is to get back in as soon as I can. Could we lift weights or light walking during a fast, or no exercise at all? So I was in the gym and I was working out for the first week of my water only fast. Not hard though, not really that hard. You don't want to work out to the point where you're breaking a sweat, because then you can start losing electrolytes. On a short fast, let's say anything up to maybe 12 days, I would say that if you feel like exercising, I read the story about the guy on the 17th day of his fast that ran for 4 hours straight. And he had that incredible spiritual experience. So, you just kind of have to take it as you can and listen to your body. And it's great to do stretching exercises, maybe some light yoga, some Pilates. Definitely work in some massage, some chiropractic, some acupuncture. Stuff like that would be beneficial for sure. As someone ages, would they do more water fasts or fewer? Well, as you age, obviously your body's going to be degenerated even more. So the beauty of water fasting is you can rapidly regenerate your body. So I would say more water fasts, Dr. Seyfried said just a 9-day water fast a year would reduce your cancer risks by 99%. So, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, 4 times a year. I mean, there's no general rule of thumb. Maybe a 6-day water only fast 3 or 4 times a year, maybe go 9 days. Even 1 day a week is great. I mean, even 1 day a week of water only fasting is great. So, thank you all for your support. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the comments. And have a great evening. And I will see you on my final day, day 18, tomorrow.